So I caught up to Bleach about 2 months ago, and honestly, after reviewing the series more and just diving more into the manga and the anime, just rewatching everything, I think I can definitely say for sure that Bleach is my favorite anime of all time. And I didn't really expect to praise this series so much when I first started it. In fact, I actually thought it was going to be my least favorite out of the big three, and I honestly didn't expect to have it in my top 5 anime. But yeah, Bleach has just proven me wrong at every step along the journey. And I don't even know if I can find any other show that can really change me and impact me in the same way that Bleach did. And when I say Bleach is my favorite anime, I'm talking about the emotions, the feeling, the impact that the series really had on me. Because I think there is a difference between your favorite anime and the best anime. Because obviously, I know that Bleach has many flaws in it, and there are certain things that I do not like about the series. So by no means do I think that Bleach is the best and most well-written anime. But it still remains my favorite anime because of how it impacted me. Because I could take an anime like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, for example, and I definitely think that the show deserves its spot as a top contender for one of the best and most well-written anime of all time. Like deadass, that show is almost perfect regarding storytelling. But is it my favorite anime? No, because it didn't impact me the same way that Bleach, Naruto, or One Piece did. Naruto is the show that got me into anime, One Piece was the show that got me hooked, and Bleach was the show that changed my life. And yeah, Bleach literally did change my life, which is why I have it as my favorite anime of all time, and I really don't think that's gonna change. So what are my actual reasons for liking Bleach so much? Well, I can just tell you right away that I immediately love the change in mood and the change in tone compared to other anime. You know, ever since watching the first episode of Bleach, it always just felt different. It wasn't placed in an old ass society where people didn't have TVs, people didn't have phones, nothing like that. It was placed in the modern age. And the people were just normal, man. Like, they were just normal citizens. Ichigo was just a normal high schooler. You know, everyone was just, they were just normal. And so for me personally, I always just really loved the aesthetic of the show, and it always just struck a sense of relatability to me. And don't even get me started on how much I like Ichigo as a character. Ichigo is literally my favorite anime character of all time, and I'm being serious when I say that. I know this is a really unpopular opinion because I feel like most people like the Naruto, Luffy, Goku type of characters, and if I watched Bleach at a younger age, I definitely would have liked Naruto and Luffy more, but since I'm older now, I feel like I definitely am more of an Ichigo type of guy. And Ichigo just inspires me, bruh. Most people think he's a bland character because he doesn't have a goal, like he wants to be the Pirate King or wants to be the Hokage or wants to be the fucking president. But for me, the goal of trying to protect your loved ones and trying to protect the things that are dearest to you, that is something that I can highly resonate to, and it's something that really just hits hard for me. And I love Naruto and Luffy's goals, and Naruto and One Piece are literally in my top 3 anime. And yeah, I know I have generic ass taste, so please, just please don't say I'm a hater, but I just resonate with Ichigo's goal more. And I'm at the age right now where I'm kind of in a self-improvement stage. You know, I want to get stronger, I want to get more fit, I want to protect more things, and I want to become more successful in the future. So I feel like me just trying to self-improve kind of resonated with this goal more. And it's the reason that Ichigo inspires me so much, because I can sometimes see myself in him, and I know that's a stretch. Like, obviously I'm not the main character, man. I'd probably be a side character in an anime, but Ichigo just really inspires me. Just seeing his internal struggles and seeing what he deals with on a daily basis. I always just found it cool how he was always searching for answers and he didn't truly know anything about himself. And then his character just ties up so beautifully with the blade is me, of course. And the fact that his life was all planned out for him, but he still somehow manages to find his path and carve his own destiny, impacting everyone around him, and he's able to have such an impact and change on his world. Like, he was able to soften up old man Yamamoto, and he's able to single-handedly change the laws of the Soul Society, who have been strict for thousands of years. And he'll always just be my main inspiration, and honestly just the most goated main character I've ever seen. So yeah, that's a good reason why I love Bleach, because obviously Ichigo was literally in the center of the show. But another aspect that I love about Bleach is the villains. And where do I even start with the Bleach villains, man? And honestly, you could remove every villain in Bleach except one, and it would still be goated, because as long as you have Aizen, the show is just a W, because Aizen is my favorite villain in all of anime. So hopefully now you can understand my Bleach glaze, because already Bleach has my favorite main character in anime and it has my favorite villain in anime. Because Aizen is just a menace, dog. He is a real villain, and I love that. You don't see Aizen showing any weakness. Even when he got defeated, he was still standing on his business and he was still on his morals. He's just out there for himself, man. I just love Aizen so much. Literally planning out the main character's whole life, betraying the Soul Society and just being a manipulator for thousands of years. Like, how do you even get better than this? Aizen is just the perfect villain in my eyes, and literally everything he does has a reason and it's just goated. I glaze Aizen so much, bro. He's literally my favorite villain in anime. And this is not even talking about all the other villains in Bleach, because you got Grimmjow, Ulquiorra, Tosen, who I think is highly underrated. You could count Gin, the fucking menace Yuha, who literally destroyed the whole Soul Society. And Ulquiorra in particular has some of the best character writing I've ever seen. I literally made a whole character analysis video on him, so that's how much I loved his character. So yeah, I really enjoy the villains in Bleach, which is another reason that it's my favorite anime. And then another reason that I love Bleach is because of the power system, and I just think the Bleach power system is so unique, man. You know, I love the Kido, the Bakudo, all the spiritual pressure. I love everything like that, but where Bleach power system really just hits home for me is the Bankais, the Shikais, and really just everything connecting to the Soul Reaper's soul. Because I find it really unique that in Bleach, the power system is highly connected to who you are as a person, and the swords are characters of their own. So in order to really be powerful in the series, you have to become one with your blade and learn how to fight together. And we even see how different people who have different personalities and who have different souls, you know, their Bankais and their Shikais, their powers, they really represent them. Like Mayuri's soul is all about science and technology and being a mad, you know, creepy scientist, and that's why his Bankai and his Shikai, it's kind of ominous and it's a big ugly baby. And then you got Byakuya, who's a calm, stoic Soul Reaper, and his Bankai is just noble, and it is one of the most beautiful Bankais in the whole Soul Society. And you could say the same for Rukia. Her Zanpakuto is the most beautiful in the Soul Society, and her Bankai makes her look like an ice Disney princess. And then you also got characters whose Shikai and Bankais are very connected to each other. For example, Shunsui, his Shikai is all about turning children's games into reality, while his Bankai transitions to an adult's play and making that into reality. But on the other hand, you got people like Soifun, whose fighting style is all about stealth. She's literally the leader of the stealth force, but then her Bankai is literally a big RPG, just a big ass nuke, which is the least stealthy way to fight. So it kind of contrasts with her character. So I just think the Bleach power system is very unique. And also just the designs, the powers, they're so cool. Nothing hits harder than a character being driven into a corner than you just hear Bankai. Like, nothing hits as hard as that, bro, I'm telling you. And then this is excluding all the Quincy abilities, all the hollow abilities. So I just love the Bleach power system, man. I think it's so unique. I just love it, man. Now, moving on to another thing I really like about Bleach. And this is a point that you really notice once you finish the series and you kind of reflect more on it. And this is the fact that in Bleach, many things parallel or even mirror each other. You know, I'm a guy who really loves symbolism and, you know, deeper meaning to things. And Bleach has a ton of that. The most basic example of this would be the relationship between the Vizards and the Arankars. You know, Vizards were Soul Reapers who gained hollow powers, and the Arankars were hollows who gained Soul Reaper powers. And then you also got the whole premise around Rain in Bleach, which I really loved. Orihime being the light while Ulquiorra was the darkness. Aizen being the one to stop Ichigo's blade during the Soul Society, and then Ichigo does the same to Aizen later on. There's just so many parallels in Bleach which I just really loved, and I think it's something that the series does very well. And now the final reason that I really love Bleach and it's my favorite anime has to be because of Kubo's art style, the designs, the drip, everything. It's perfect. And Kubo be making the greatest character designs I've seen, bro. His art style and the drip is by far my favorite drip I've ever seen in a show. Even the basic Soul Reaper black outfits be going so hard. And as I said earlier, the Bleach setting is more modern, so Kubo cooks up some amazing modern designs for these characters, especially when you look at the cover spreads and, you know, all the cover arts that Kubo has drawn. They just look so beautiful. And I really thought the anime's art style was amazing, so when I went over to the manga and I read that, I was just blown away. Because the anime really does not do the manga justice at some points. And bro, the designs, they're so good, bro. And I lied because I have another reason that I fucking love Bleach. And I cannot believe I forgot this, because how could I not talk about the music in Bleach? First of all, we got the openings and the endings, and I actually have not reacted to the endings yet, but people say they're goated. And I fucking love the openings, bro. They're such a vibe. But what I mainly want to talk about is the OSTs. And again, Bleach OSTs are literally my favorite OSTs in anime. I deadass have a playlist of all the Bleach OSTs, and that's the only music I listen to now. I don't care about Travis Scott, I don't care about Drake, I don't care about Kendrick Lamar. I got Bleach OSTs, baby. Nah, Shiro Sagisu's really a legend, bro. I don't know what I would do without him. If you haven't heard Bleach OSTs, you have to listen to them right now, because I am telling you, they are actually goated. And the OSTs fit in with the atmosphere of the show so well. One of my favorite OSTs, Nothing Can Be Explained. If you listen to it, it sums up Bleach perfectly. So yeah, this reason wasn't really about the story, but I don't know, the music's just so good. I had to include it, okay? So yeah, guys, these are the main reasons that I love Bleach. And just to be clear, this is not a video to shit on Naruto or One Piece or any other anime out there. I can just smell the comments saying that, oh, he doesn't like Naruto, he doesn't like One Piece. No, I am not saying that. You're saying that. As I've said before, my top 3 anime is literally Bleach, Naruto, One Piece. Like, I know that's hella generic, but it is what it is, okay? No anime has made me feel the type of emotions that those 3 have, so I love all of them so much, okay? I'm not shitting on Naruto or One Piece with this video. I'm just telling you guys why I love Bleach. So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. Hope to see you guys later in the next one. I'm hella motivated now. I'm gonna grow this channel, talk with you guys more. Yeah, have a blessed day. See you later.